Welcome to the Milo Sweet Podcast, where you learn to achieve more with less by being resourceful and watch me occasionally get off topic. Let's get into the show. Hello, beautiful people. I hope you guys are having a great time this Friday. Really happy to be here again. It's been a while. Actually, it hasn't been a while for me. I record and then I don't post. So I am really trying to work on that. Which brings me to today's topic, which is you got to troubleshoot. So yeah, let's talk about it. Troubleshooting. What is that? So the truth is I don't have the exact definition. I'm going to define it for us. Actually, you know what? Let me just look it up. That's really easy. Hold on. I just clicked on an ad online. I love when I get ads. Okay, so I hate ads, but I love how people sell you. Like, it's just so fascinating to me. It's almost like getting ready for a party. Like all the energy and effort that you put into getting dressed. You ever get dressed for a party and it's a big deal? If you haven't been to a party or to something important where you needed to get dressed for in a while, I would encourage you to just get dressed for yourself. So when they put all that energy and effort to getting ready for a party, that's what I feel like they did for the ad. They thought about all these things, and it makes me feel like I know they're sending it to everyone, but it makes me feel like they did it for me. And I'm just fascinated. So it is a weird thing. Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's look up troubleshooting. Solve serious problems for a company or organization. So yes, in a way, we're not necessarily a company or an organization, but our life is kind of structured like that, right? Our life is a little bit more complex. The things that we do and what we say, it has influence. It affects other people. Maybe they influence us, and it goes back and forth. And then when you think about it, we're not just, there's a saying that we're the 5 people we spend the most time with, but we're actually who the next 2 people they spend the most time with. So there's people that you don't know. You know that friend that you have that you don't like their friend? Yeah, they have influence over you. Isn't that interesting? Like, how much influence do you really want to give them? So troubleshooting, what is that exactly? We kind of define that. Now, what does that look like in our lives? I'll tell you what it looks like for me. We have a plan. You write the plan out, right? You get it. You have the plan. You wrote that plan. You worked that plan, right? Somebody gave it to you. Maybe you bought the plan. You took a course and it said, hey, this is the plan. And you try to implement that plan. And guess what? It doesn't happen, right? Doesn't happen. You're like, I'm going to lose weight this year. Wrong. You've gained 20 pounds. I am going to stop doing this with my phone. I don't want to know what that is. Fluid on your phone. But you don't stop that, right? Maybe you're going to stop. You're going to be more present with your kids, right? But you don't do that, right? Maybe you're going to finally go after that job that you want, or you're going to increase your revenue, or you're going to take that hairstyle that you want, or start dressing, to impress, right? Yeah, you dress like you're a mess, right? What happens? What happens? You got this plan, and when you went to implement it, it didn't work out. That's where troubleshooting comes in. So let's go back to the definition because I forgot what they said already. Okay, it says solve serious problems for a company. So I think I'm going to bring up a couple points where I feel that we get troubleshooting wrong and why we should take it seriously. So our ability to solve serious problems. First off, small problems turn into big problems, and we ignore them when they're super small, like a super small seed. Like, think about it. You plant a seed, like the way you were able to eat, like that was a seed. Even if if you're vegan, you are eating like seeds that grew into these big things, and then they made more and more and more seeds. So that's what problems are. They're small, and then they create complex problems that are for organization, that are for a company, but it's really just your life. So are you solving these problems when they're seeds? Before you plant them in the ground, you could just not put them in the ground. How about that? Then there is the idea that when there's a serious problem, we have a physical and mental response. So you see a serious problem, and then you kind of don't know what to do with it. Like, is it a threat? Should you run? Should you hide? Should you face it head on? you really, once it gets to that level, it almost feels like we didn't understand that planting the seed, watering the seed, giving it sunshine, making sure it had lots of room to grow, that we don't understand that that is actually what helps it to grow. So doing things, putting that same tenacity in the opposite way, to uproot it, to remove it, to put something else there, to make sure it doesn't grow back, is needed to remove it. So when we first see the problem, when it's a serious big problem, like the small problem turned into a big problem, we maybe experience feelings or an environment that makes us not understand how to solve it. So we kind of get stuck. And so we have to really understand that all of our actions add up to that one thing. And then we don't know how to ask for help. So when you get help, you're probably going to get some truth there. Like, hey, were you watering this problem, spreading it throughout everywhere, eating off of it? Sometimes our problems feed us and they're making us sick when we eat them. But for a moment, we're like, that tastes good. Yeah, and then you're sick. Think of it this way. There's allergies, right? Some people eat something that is nutritious for someone else. And then all of a sudden they eat it and they're sick, like so sick, like to the point that they could die. So we could look at something and say, well, that's not a big deal, but to whom and to what and for how long? So I think we can really underestimate how things can affect us. But going back to the help, when should you ask for help? I say before you plant the seed. Talk to someone. Hey, I have this seed. It seems fine. Like there's no damage from it. But what would it do? And maybe get a lot of expertise and maybe conflicting views so that you can really use your brain and critical thinking to say, what would the seed do? And then if you decide to plant it, evaluate it. I noticed that it's affecting all my other plants. It's pulling nutrients. It's really, or you eat the fruit. This feels funny, like feel good for a moment. And then the next days, I feel like I'm going to throw up and vomit. You have to start evaluating things. And that skill will help you to troubleshoot. When you haven't practiced troubleshooting all this time, it's like really hard. So what's your 20%? Where is the seed at? Is it in the ground? I think evaluate and then figure out a plan. Yeah, that's where we're at. So hope this was helpful and I hope you guys have a great weekend. That is all. All right, that's another episode in the books. Hello? I said it's over. Why are you still listening? Like, seriously, the episode is over. If you're still listening right now, you know what? You're probably a chronic procrastinator. Guess what? I'm still listening too. Come on, for real, seriously. We gotta go do something productive. No, like for real. No, for real. Okay, you can keep listening.